I am a robot, and I hear it's somebody's birthday. Birthday? But who? It's my birthday.
The best Valentine's Day food gifts
Uh-oh.
are shipping nationwide.
Let's
So if you want Martha
stop
Stewart's
that.
strawberry layer cake, Jacques Torres signature chocolates, or
Well, I'm back, and it's great to see you. I have to turn that volume down. If you haven't heard, I am a robot, and I hear it's somebody's birthday. Birthday? But who? It's my birthday. I'm very happy that I get to spend it with you. It's so great seeing you. I have no idea if anybody is watching, but I can tell you that right now I'm not in my house. I am currently at a hotel on the coast in Oregon in a small town called Gearhart. And it's actually a McMenamins. It's a hotel chain that's all around this area in Oregon. Oh my heavens, there are people here. I see Brenda and I see Yo-Yo Max, and it's so great to see you. Yo-Yo Max, earlier there was a video that I did. It was a Quick birthday video, and Yo-Yo Max 12, Tammy, was a part of that birthday party. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I'm here on the Oregon coast. You might hear some people running down the hallway. Don't mind. I don't know them. They're strangers. But y'all aren't strangers. It's so great to have you join me for my birthday. So I'm going to be doing some exciting things today. I'm going to be trying some wild treats, and I'm going to be playing some trivia questions that I'm going to be asking you, the audience, as trivia from when I grew up from the 70s. I was born in the 70s, so some 70s, 80s, and 90s questions. So I hope you're ready for that. So far, my birthday weekend has been pretty amazing. Last night, I got to have a murder mystery party. It was an 80s themed party, and I had 18 wonderful friends over, and we had to try to figure out who the murderer was. It was basically we're all different characters from 80s movies with different types of names. I was a Ghostbuster type character named Jarvis Slime, and we also had people like Polly Pingwald and Shamie Lee Curses and a few other wacky characters too. Brenda says she loves a murder mystery. Well, you know what? Murders aren't that cool, but murder mystery parties are out of sight. Oh, I see some Baker's Loft is here. That's Wendy. Wendy, it's so wonderful to see you today. It's birthday time, and I'm so happy about it. So, yes, the murder mystery was basically like 5 rounds, and we got to have lots of 80s foods, and I made a fun 80s punch with Mountain Dew and Prosecco and pineapple sherbet in there. And the 80s food were things like I made those grape jelly meatballs, and we had these little porcupine, oh, they were like called porcupines, where you put cheese and cocktail weenies and pineapple inside and toothpicks, and oh, it was so fun. And we had special 80s dessert. I made dirt pudding, which was my favorite 80s dessert as a kid. What are your favorite? Is anybody who's watching lived the 80s and can remember an exciting 80s dessert? My other favorite 80s dessert was a chocolate eclair cake. Layered graham crackers, pudding, chocolate on top. Absolutely fabulous. I see some messages. Somebody says, Shemore 2011 says, happy birthday. Thank you so very much. And I'm just going to have fun. Today is all about having fun. Somebody said, Yo-Yo Max said, you were not born in the 70s. Well, guess what, Yo-Yo Max? I am. I'm going to be turning 50 soon, and I can't wait for it. Okay, Yo-Yo Max was born in the 60s, and she was a teenager in the 80s, and it was the best time ever. The 80s was fabulous. Well, we're going to take a trip back to the 70s. I'm going to start by asking a couple questions from the 70s. Are y'all ready for this? I love trivia. Okay, the first question is this. It's fact or phooey. Is it true or is it false? Jane Seymour, do you know who that is? That's Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. Is this fact or fiction? She once played a Bond girl named Solitaire in the 1970s. Do you think that's true or do you think that's false? Dr. Quinn, was she a Bond girl? Let's find out. Oh, Grandma Teresa Gilmore says true, and you know what? You got it. That was fact. Wonderful. I'm so sorry, Seymour 2011, but it was true. Next question is this. Was it hot or was it not in the 1970s to talk to your plants? What do you think? Do you think that was hot or do you think that was not in the 1970s? Talking to your plants. Just love it. I've always heard about classical music and plants, but what about talking to them? I'm seeing some guesses. I hear hot, hot, and hot. And it is true, in the early 70s, people not only talked to their plants, they nurtured them with a special record, George Milstein's hit record, Music to Grow Plants by. Who knew? I love that. Very fun. Next, in the 1970s, was this person dead or alive in the 1970s? Dead or alive? Grace Kelly. Was Grace Kelly dead or alive in the 1970s? Let's find out. I hear alive was one guess. Another person says alive. And the answer is true. She was alive. She died in 1982. So yes, Grace Kelly, also Monaco's princess and Alfred Hitchcock's muse, died in 1982. So she was alive in the 70s. Okay. Hot or not? Rubber clothing. In the 1970s, was everybody rocking those rubber clothes, running down the street, having fun, getting hot when it's 100 degrees? What do you think? Do you think rubber clothing was hot in the 1970s? Let's find out. I'm going to look. Oh, I'm glad, Grandma, yes, you do know some of these. Brenda says hot. Grandma Teresa says not. We got the Baker's Loft, not. Well, guess what? The answer is it was not hot. But rubber clothing was popular in the 80s and 90s. Jean-Paul Gaultier loved rubber clothes. Who knew? Who knew? I just love learning these facts is fun. I had no idea. I don't own any rubber clothes. I might get myself something special sometime. Does anybody who watching own something that's rubber? Rubber clothing? I'd love to know. I could see Tammy, Yo-Yo Max, rocking the rubber outfits. What do you have to say about that? Oh, yep, I think it might be a fetish type thing. You are correct. All right. Dead or alive in the 1970s, Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen from The Great Escape. Was he dead or alive in the 1970s? Brenda's allergic to latex. You would definitely struggle with those rubber clothes. So yes, Steve McQueen, we got alive, Brenda, dead, Yo-Yo Max 12, and alive, Baker's Wendy. The answer is he was alive. He was alive and he died in 1980. Okay, well, I'm ready to try a special treat. I'm here. I've got some scary sounding treats, but I'm going to start with something that's not scary. It's from Italy. It is a special cheese cracker that contains pepperoni cheese. So I was nervous when I heard there was a cracker that involved cheese from Italy, and I knew that there was a special cheese that was like a maggot cheese that's made by maggots. And I was like, oh, I hope that's not what pepperoni cheese is. Well, it's not. That was a whole nother type of cheese in Italy made with maggots. So I'm hoping this is a tastier cheese. I need to try to figure out how I see it now. I'm looking at my thing. Has anybody tried maggot cheese? Watching maggot cheese? Sounds pretty nasty. But here it is, pepperoni cheese. Oh! It's kind of like a noodle. It's like a big pillow. And you bite into it. It's so hollow inside. Huh. You are right. Pepperoni cheese does taste a bit like Parmesan. Very good. I like it. It is wonderful. Thank you so much. I see some people saying happy birthday. Josie and Shara, great to see you. And Brenda says, I'll skip the maggots. It's true. I don't want to eat no maggots either. I'm ready for another question from the 1970s. Okay. Let's find a fun one. Fun. None of these are fun, but I know there's going to be a fun one. I'm going to get you a good 1970s question. I'm sure we could figure this out, but who sang a song in the 1970s called Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves? Who sang a song by that name? It sounds like a very dangerous song. Oh, we got some people who have chosen. They say share, and share. And that's right. The answer is definitely share. And I love that song. It's a great one. I was going to sing it, but I realized I'm in a hotel. I can't be singing. But I will tell you that a couple years ago, I did get to see Cher in concert. And it was absolutely incredible. I loved every second of it. I'm going to ask a few more 1970s questions, but I will be moving to the 80s in just a bit. Here we go. This is a very difficult one. I didn't know this, but what was the name of reggae singer Bob Marley's band? It was Bob Marley, and what was the band's name? Yes, I loved Sonny and Cher too. They were great. Anybody know the name of Bob Marley's band? Brenda says the Wailers, and you know what, Brenda? She's kicking butt. It is true. The Wailers is the name of the band. I love that. Nikki also knew the Wailers' answer. Congratulations. We've got some real trivia winners here. Okay. Who is this person in the 1970s? Was this person dead or alive? Nat King Cole. Was he dead or alive in the 1970s? Grandma Therese says dead, Brenda says alive, and Josie says dead. Well, the answer is dead. They died in 1965. Nat King Cole. Does anybody have a favorite Nat King Cole song? I'd love to find out. I'm reading. Yep, I see lots of deads over there. Okay, here we go. Fact or fiction? Is this true or false? The movie American Graffiti and the TV show Happy Days both featured Henry Winkler. Is that fact or fiction? Fact or phooey? Both those movies had Henry Winkler, American Graffiti, and Happy Days. So what do you think? What do you think? The 70s are so special. We got Brenda says true. Wendy says false. Grandma Tree says true. And the answer is, it was a trick question because the answer is false. They both starred Ron Howard, not Henry Winkler. They got you. Do you know what? There's another celebrity that made a secret appearance in the movie American Graffiti. And I think if you look through the credits, their character was just Woman in Car. Do you happen to know who it was that played Woman in Car in American Graffiti?
You've met Henry Winkler.
Oh, I know I have to tell you that. That's right. Oh, and by the way, Henry Winkler, I got to meet Henry Winkler, the Fonz, last year. Not the December that just happened, but the December before that. He was doing a book tour, and I got to see him speak. And then at the end, he said he wanted to meet everybody in the audience, and we all got to go and meet Henry Winkler. And he talked to me, and he shook my hand, and he gave me a side hug, and it was so special. I got to tell you, he is definitely like the nicest celebrity ever. Love Henry Winkler. So do we have a guess about who played Woman in Car in American Graffiti? Well, I'm going to tell you, the Woman in Car was played by Suzanne Summers. Isn't that fantastic? You know, I love trivia. It makes me so happy. Next question. Ooh, and then I'm going to try something, and then it'll be back. We're going to be taking a trip to the 80s. Was it hot or not in the 1970s, the Batman TV show? Batman, the TV show. Was that hot or was that not in the 1970s? We got hot. We got so hot. We got not. We also got another hot. Well, the answer is not. The Batman TV show was from 1966 to 1968. It happened before the 1970s. Well, there you go. It was a not. Okay, it's time for a weird thing to try. These are some potato chips that come from Scotland. Not only are they, and guess it contains a very weird Scottish flavor. Anybody have a guess of what you think this chip could be? That's a strange Scottish thing. I'm gonna look at the comment. Oh my gosh, we got a guess. The answer, somebody said haggis, and that is right. It is haggis with crushed pepper chips. So, oh yes, it does have a meaty smell. Ooh, it's got some nice seasoning. Yes, it's haggis. So yes, haggis is like made out of the intestines, like meat in the intestines, kind of thing. I think it's something involving oatmeal as well. I wish I could remember about haggis, but I will tell you that I have had haggis before, and it wasn't too bad. I think it was really good if you put lots of mustard on it. It made the haggis taste great. Once I had haggis, there was like deep fried haggis balls. I had those too. Not bad either, but haggis chips, I've never had. So let's find out. It's good. I'm not like intestine flavors, not like popping in my mouth. I'm mainly just tasting seasonings. Not intestine. I'm not a fan of intestines because you know what goes through those things? That's kind of why it scares me a little bit. But, haggis chips, out of 10, I give these chips a 7 out of 10. Delicious. Yes, okay. We have somebody saying I was born in 66. I must have watched Batman young, yes. I see Yo-Yo Max said, I think we watched it young, reruns. So yes, that's true. And Star Trek was definitely from that time period. Okay, let's go back. It's time for some 80s questions. Are you ready for the 80s now? I love the 80s. I'm trying to think, when it comes to the 80s, my favorite 80s movies, I loved Gremlins. I loved E.T. Being in Oregon, I loved The Goonies. I loved all those fantastic 80s films. They're great. Do y'all have any favorite 80s movies? At my murder mystery party, the 80s party I had last night, I had this one thing that you could scratch off that listed a whole bunch of 80s movies, and there were some that I had totally forgotten about, so they were kind of fun to see. I'd love to know what you like to watch at an 80s movie. Well, I see somebody's talking about Monkey. Well, yes, monkeys are cool. All right. It says, you know you are old when the era you were a teenager in becomes a Halloween costume. Yes, I hear that. I understand. Brenda says Dirty Dancing is her favorite movie. Don't put baby in the corner. No way, Jose. I've got the watermelon. Let's go dance. Okay. Poltergeist, yes, that was one of my favorite movies too. Go to the light, Carol Ann. This house is clean. I just love that movie so much, and that clown always scared me. And that tree was absolutely terrifying in the movie Poltergeist. Incredible 80s movie. Okay. 80s question. Oh, that was the movie you saw on your first date. Horrifying. We're from hello there, and happy birthday to me. Yes, it is my birthday. Thank you so much for joining me here. We're playing some trivia right now, and I'm about to start asking some 80s trivia questions. I bet we know this. We're going to start simple. Was it hot or not in the 1980s? Leg warmers. I would say it would be very hot on the legs. But is it hot? Was it hot and exciting or not in the 1980s? Oh, we got hot. Oh, we got more hots. And the answer is they were definitely hot. They say it didn't matter if you were working out. Leg warmers were just phenomenal. Everybody just wanted to be wearing their leg warmers, which is very exciting. Okay, this is a Billy Joel song in 1980. I need somebody to fill in the blanks of this song. I know that Brenda loves her music, so I have a feeling Brenda might get this answer. I'm going to give you, it's going to be 5 blanks. I need you to fill out these 5 blanks. It's the song Everybody's Talking About the Blank Blank. Funny, but it's still blank blank to me. Can you figure that out? Fill in those blanks. Everybody's talking about the blank blank. Funny, but it's still blank blank to me. What do we have? I'm going to check those comments. I'm going to dive in these comments and see what we got. Everybody's talking about the blank blank. Funny, but it's still blank blank to me. Brenda says no idea. I was counting on you. But that's okay. Does anybody know this answer? Because I would not have gotten this either. Oh my gosh, we got an answer. It's still rock and roll to me. Everybody's talking about the new sound, but funny, it's still rock and roll to me. Yes, that's so true. I wore knicker pants when I was 10. So Joanne says, well, that is just so exciting. I'm sure those pants were absolutely hilarious. I always remember they would say, put your knickers on. So that must have been what you were wearing. Very exciting. Okay, next. Was it hot or not in the 1980s? Billy Beer. Have you heard of Billy Beer? Was that hot or not in the 1980s? What do you think? No clue. Billy Beer, I'll tell you, Billy Beer had something to do with Jimmy Carter. And it had to do with, I think it was Jimmy Carter's brother had made that beer called Billy Beer. Was it hot or not? In the 80s, the answer was it was not hot because in the 80s, Jimmy Carter was voted out of the office, so that beer was not hot at all. Okay, here we go. In the 1980s, was this person dead or alive? Dr. Seuss. Was Dr. Seuss dead or alive in the 1980s? I gotta know. Tammy says dead. When the other guesses, Tammy says dead. Brenda says dead as well. Anybody else want to guess? Was Dr. Seuss dead or alive in the 1980s? Well, the answer is Dr. Seuss, shockingly, was alive. Dr. Seuss didn't die until 1991. That is actually kind of surprising. I had no idea. I did not know. All right. Next, in 1980s, there was a 1989 movie called Steel Magnolias, which, yes, I absolutely love that movie. Why? Because like my favorite person's in it, Dolly Parton, and many other people, Shirley MacLaine, and Julia Roberts, and Sally Field, and Olympia Dukakis, and Daryl Hannah Splash. Well, yes, it was a phenomenal movie. So let's see if you could get this question. In the 1989 movie Steel Magnolias, what were Shelby's wedding colors? What were her wedding colors? Drink your juice, Shelby. Drink your juice. But what were her wedding colors in Steel Magnolias? Tammy, if you love this movie, you should know this one. Peach. Tammy, I'm getting disappointed. I do love that movie, and I actually don't think this would have popped in my mind either. But somebody does know. It's the cameraman knows the answer. Do you know the answer?
It's Blush and Bashful.
You know, so yes, you are close. You got it. Blush and Bashful were the colors of the movie. Cameraman knew it. Cameraman, you could hear cameraman laughing because yes, they got it right. So cool.
It's pink and pink.
Next, another question. Is this person dead or alive? Louis Armstrong, famous jazz musician, were they dead or alive in 1980s? Dead or alive in the 1980s? Tammy guesses dead. Now, what do we think about this? Louis Armstrong, jazz musician. Brenda says alive. Okay, so there's two separate answers. Well, the answer is he was dead. He died in 1971. Okay, I'm ready to try another treat from my box. We should just aim for the weird treats. So let's see, what's this one? That is not, it's mud cake flavored balls. I don't think that's going to be too weird. But this one is pine flavored candy. Pine candy. Okay. From Belgium. It's candy that tastes like a pine tree. How is it? Let's find out. It says, I don't know. It says it's from a biscuiteria in Belgium. Pine flavored candy. Oh my. I am not a fan of this candy treat. It's totally pine tree. It feels like it's a real fresh pine tree, like you ripped it right off of the pine tree. I don't think I'll be finishing it. It doesn't smell at all, the smell, but the taste, it's very much like a cleaning supply. Mm. Mm-mm. Oh my gosh, it might be useful for a sore throat. I can feel that. It does feel like a lozenge. I mean, it's now I'm used to the taste, so it's not horrible. So now I'm starting to feel okay about it. You just have to give it a little minute, but it still tastes like you're just chewing on some pine needles. But I'm going to say goodbye to that. Oh, it says Buckley's, a sore throat lozenge, uses pine in their lozenges. I had no idea, but that is awesome to hear. Who's ready for another 80s trivia question? Me. Okay, I'm going to grab my book again. I'll ask 3 more 1980s questions. Then I'll do another sample, and then we're going to take a dive into the 90s. I was only going to make this live like a 30-minute. Oh my gosh, it's already been 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'll make it a 45-minute live. So here we go. We're going to say, was it hot or not? Okay, it was a shirt company. Izod. Is that the one that has the alligator on it? Izod. Do you remember that? Was Izod hot or not in the 80s? I think it was a polo shirt. Was it hot or not in the 80s? Izod. Izod. I-Z-O-D. We got the words hot, and you know what? It's totally hot. It was, Izod was hot, and people would flip their collars up, and they're so hip. It was hot as heck. Yes, it was the preppy uniform. It's true. Izod was hot, hot, hot. Okay, we got another guess the ending of this lyric question. It's from a song in the movie Rocky II, a Survivor song. I think you've heard this. And it is, went the distance now, I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his blank, blank, blank. It's this song, Eye of a Tiger. Fill in the blanks. Went the distance now, I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his blank, blank. Yes, Tammy, you got it so quickly. It was his will to survive. That's really great. It's right. Yes, 2 people got that. Will to survive is absolutely incredible. Okay, well, since we're doing these blank, blank, blank songs, I'm going to do another one. It's a Tina Turner song. What's love got to do with it? It's what good's a heart when a heart blank, blank, blank. Can we get that one? What's good's a heart when a heart blank, blank, blank? Do we know that one? Let's find out. Yeah, my goodness, Brenda, you got that. A heart can be broken. Yes, that's so true. A heart can be broken. Oh my, I have never heard this one. Is this true or false? Is it fact or fiction? In the 1980s, the word bowhead was a derogatory term used to describe preppy girls who often wore big bows in their hair. Is that true or false? In the 80s, being called a bowhead was a derogatory term because you love wearing big bows in your hair. And you're a preppy gal. Is that true or is that false? Being called a bowhead. Well, we have a couple guesses that say false. Not in Canada, they say. Well, I never heard this before. I lived the 80s, and it says it's fact that bowhead was a derogatory term. I just had no idea. Has anybody heard this before? I had no idea. But that's, oh my gosh, we got Canadians chatting with each other. And that's absolutely wonderful. I bet there are a couple of bowheads. Who knows? But it's great seeing everybody here today. Next, there's a very famous star that appeared on a short-lived 1980s teen sitcom called Square Pegs. And I loved this show. Do you know who the celebrity is that was in the show Square Pegs? It was like, Square Pegs, Square Pegs, Square Pegs, Square Pegs. I kind of remember that theme song. Anybody know who was the star of Square Pegs? Let's find out. Let's find out. Yes, it was somebody, a very city girl. Yep, it sure was. I think it would, no idea, but I think you got that. Fifth and Overland. It was the Sex in the City gal. You know, it was Sarah Jessica. Yes, you got that, Joanne. Sarah Jessica Parker. You got that right. That was amazing. Congratulations, Jessie. And congratulations, Joanne. You got it. I think you didn't want to say the naughty sex word, so you just wrote C in the city. And that's okay. I still figured it out. Next, here we go. Okay, who was the person, which actress played the beautiful Buttercup in the 1987 film, The Princess Bride? Anybody know who played Buttercup in The Princess Bride? Who could that have been? Anybody know her name? Buttercup. You got that right. Robin Wright is the answer. There was a TV show in the 80s called Alice, and there's a famous waitress that would say a special line. Her name was Flo. Do you know what line Flo would say in the TV show Alice? Can you get that one? And I also love that show. I know the character who played Alice just died last month, and I just loved that show. But, oh, yes, you got it. Jessie, she would say, well, kiss my grits. That's true. I just loved that character, Flo. And then she went on. She was also in the movie Gremlins, and she's the one who played that really mean, rich lady in the town. And then the Gremlins she was riding her little chair up the stairs, and it went really fast, and she flew out the window. And oh, she was real nasty. Who knew she would go from Flo to being this very nasty lady? Okay, let's try one more treat, and then I'm going to end with three. Okay, well, these was not in my box, but I saw these in the store. Peeps Rice Krispie treat flavored, and I've been curious. I've had them on my counter for a long time, and I've been so curious if it was going to be a marshmallow flavored marshmallow. So I wanted to know, does it have a really taste like Rice Krispies? So let's find out. Peeps. I know it's a required taste. Oh, it smells pretty good. So yes, Peeps, are you a fan of anybody here? Are you a lover or a hater when it comes to Peeps? I'd like to know. I can kind of see how it's Rice Krispie, like it does have that rice kind of smell. Oh, I didn't bite that first. I just threw the whole thing in my mouth. For me, it's not tasting very ricey. It's tasting more like a marshmallow and cereal milk. So it kind of has a cereal milk flavor rather than milky, rather than marshmallowy, which is, rather than ricey. So yes, it's pretty good. Okay, we got a message. My sister loves Peeps, but we also love circus peanuts and candy corn. I like Peeps. I definitely struggle with circus peanuts. I want to like them. I love the shape, makes me so happy, but I just can't get over the flavor of a circus peanut. It's so difficult. And candy corn, I want to love that too. And I do love that when they make some fun, wacky flavors of candy corn, like they did a Thanksgiving dinner one, and that was really cool. So yes, fun. I like these quirky kind of foods, even though I don't like Even though I don't like circus peanuts and candy corn, I'll still celebrate them. Because they're kitsch, and I love kitsch things. I'm Jim's Kitsch Kitchen. You can't help it. Okay? I'm going to ask, I'm moving to the 90s now. I'm going to ask 4 90s questions, and then this live is going to be finished after that. Because I'm hungry and I want to eat some dinner. And this hotel has some wonderful food. So here we go. 1990s questions. True or false? In the movie Pulp Fiction, it says, in the movie Pulp Fiction, if you look at all the clocks in the movie, all the clocks are stuck on the time 4:20. Is that fact or fiction? All the clocks in Pulp Fiction are set on the time 4:20. What do you think about that? Is that fact or is that fiction? Oh, Jessie says I still owe her some cactus candy. Yes, I do. I guess I might owe you some cactus candy. But you know what Jessie introduced me to some wonderful syrup. What the heck is the word? It starts with a P. It's a PP syrup. Prickly pear syrup. Yes. Yes, prickly pear syrup. I had never had it before, but thanks to Jessie from 5th and Overland, I got to try prickly pear syrup for the first time, and it was amazing. Actually, in this last summer, I went to England and I bought more prickly pear syrup and took it over to the UK, and they absolutely loved the prickly pear syrup. So thank you so much, Jessie, for teaching me about that. Okay, fact or fiction about the Pulp Fiction? True. Brenda says true, and Devin says it's always 4:20 somewhere. Well, yes, that is right. It is true. And in the movie Pulp Fiction, it's also true. All the clocks were set to 4:20. I had no idea. And that is kind of funny. All right. Next question. That was one. I only have 3 more questions to go. Okay. So, was it hot or was it not in the 1990s? The TV show, That 70s Show, was that show hot or was it not in the 1970s? Hot or not? Tammy says not. Any other guesses? Brenda says hot. Joanne says not. That 70s show, was it popular in the 1990s? Well, the answer is 2 of you got it right. 2 of you got it right. The answer is it was hot. It was very hot. That 70s show in the 1990s. It debuted in 1998. Okay, next question. Is this fact or is this fiction? Does anybody remember the Snapple lady? I think her name was Wendy Kaufman. It says TV spokeswoman Wendy Kaufman was working the drive-thru at McDonald's when Snapple producers discovered her. Is this true or is this false that she was discovered in the McDonald's drive-thru? What do you think about that? Is that true fact or is that fiction? What do we think here? We got the answer true and we got the answer false. And never heard of that Snapple lady. Well, she was a lot of fun and she loved Snapple. Does anybody have a favorite Snapple flavor? I've always loved that kiwi strawberry one, and I haven't had one for quite some time. Well, it feels like it should be true, but the answer is it is not true. It is phooey. It is not true. Okay, only 2 more questions to go. Let's see what's next. Okay, in the 1990s. Okay, I don't want one that's not too difficult. Like, I know we know who sang a song, Quit Playing Games with My Heart. I know we know who played Wednesday in Addams Family film, but I want something a little more juicy for my last two questions. Okay. Fact or fiction? Nope, I definitely know. Okay, here we go. What? Okay, here in the 1990s, Hard Rock Cafe was quite a popular restaurant. Does anybody know where the very first location of the Hard Rock Cafe is? I didn't know this, but I'm curious. Does anybody know where the very first Hard Rock Cafe's location was? And I think I probably owned like 4 Hard Rock Cafe t-shirts in my life. I have no idea what happened to them. They're all at the Goodwill probably. But where was the first Hard Rock Cafe? I see Las Vegas, I see San Francisco, I see New York, I see Hollywood, I see Arizona maybe, I see LA as a guess. Well, guess what? Although Kansas City is thrown on there. Well, guess what? The very first Hard Rock Cafe was in none of those. The first Hard Rock Cafe wasn't even in the United States. It was in London. The very first one. I had no idea. London. Who knew? And one final question from the night. Are you enjoying? I want to know. Do you enjoy playing trivia? Do you like this kind of thing? This is only my 3rd live. I thought it's my birthday. I should do something fun. I should do trivia from when I was growing up. So do you like this kind of thing and playing games? I know I'm all about cooking and making things, but what the heck? I want to celebrate, and I want to celebrate with some people that I care about. So let's play trivia. Well, cool. I'm glad that you love it. That's awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to have our very final question of the night. It is from the movie, 1990s, from the movie Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion. It's one of my favorite movies. Makes me laugh so much. Okay, so in that movie, is this true or is this false? Lisa Kudrow tells her classmates that she invented whiteout. Is that true or is that false? She invented whiteout in the movie Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion. Oh my God, it's 2 answers that say false. Can you believe it? And one answer says true and another true answer. Well, is it true or is it false? The answer is false. They said they invented Post-its, not whiteout. Well, there you have it. Well, I am so happy that I got to do this. It's been a great time celebrating my birthday. I know I'm at this hotel, which is so exciting, a perfect place to spend my birthday. We're actually on the beach, and right behind me is a big golf course, and they've got elks that like to run along the golf course, and so you could see them from your window, which is kind of so cool, and I love elks. So that's very special. So thank you so much for joining me on this live, listening to me to ramble and trying some fun snacks, and we got to play lots of trivia questions. So I really appreciate you all joining me, and thank you. And I hope to see you again in the future. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye.